Hello everyone, my name is Clifford Chukwemeka Iruanya and I come from Aro Ndionyemobi community. And Aro Ndionyemobi is in Oguta area in the Olo province of the old eastern region of Nigeria. Today is August 18, 2021. And I am coming to you direct from Houston, Texas. I have this short video that I titled Fundamental Questions, Basic Realities, and the Way Forward. I repeat, Fundamental Questions, Basic Realities, and the Way Forward. Now let me take it one at a time. Fundamental questions. I know you watching me this video, you must have a lawyer friend, a lawyer brother, a lawyer uncle, a lawyer in-law, or an acquaintance who is a lawyer. This video is, the first part of this video, which is basic question, is kind of an assignment to you. Please do me a favor. Go to your lawyer, acquaintance, brother, sister, uncle, or whatever, and ask that lawyer this basic question. Number one, ask the lawyer, what is jurisprudence? Just in case the word sounds tongue-twisting, I can spell it for you. Jurisprudence. It's called jurisprudence. Ask your lawyer acquaintance, what is jurisprudence? Secondly, ask the lawyer if the lawyer went through a course or one of the subjects in the legal training, either in the university or in the law school, with a caption jurisprudence. And when the lawyer finishes answering that question, the next question you will ask the lawyer is, what is a constitution? What is a constitution? Don't forget to follow up with another question. How is a constitution made? Make sure you get the answer. And then you can ask the question, who makes a constitution? Is a constitution made by an individual or a select group of people, or by the representative of the indigenous peoples of that very country or entity? It is very important you ask this question. And then you now ask the final question. Say, after making the constitution, we started with what is a constitution, how is a constitution made, who makes a constitution. Now, after making the constitution, how is this constitution brought into effect? How does it start working? Because if you assemble a car or a machinery, there has to be a way you have to make it to start working. How does a constitution be brought, or how can a constitution be brought into existence? How does it take effect? Ask your lawyer, a friend, acquaintance, this question. And with this, I now say the following. If a constitution is not made by the entity that is supposed to make it. 2, if a constitution is not activated properly the way it's supposed to be activated, and there's no need running around, beating about the subject matter, by a referendum or plebiscite, if a constitution is not activated by a vote, which is what referendum is all about, by a vote. 3, if a constitution is imposed via a military decree. 4, if a constitution is a resurrected document that was also military imposed 20 years earlier, like you had them do in 1999. They resurrected a document that was imposed by the military in 1979. Number 5, if a constitution has a forged signature or has forged signatures of the indigenous peoples of that country, then that constitution is a fraud. And every institution established by that constitution is a proceed of fraud, because you cannot have a goat giving birth to a lion or a pussycat giving birth to an antelope. It does not work. A fraud gives birth to a fraud. You cannot get a good thing out of a fraud. Therefore, a fraudulent constitution produces fraudulent institutions. I therefore say with every authority that what is now referred to as the National Assembly, that is the Senate and House of Rep of Nigeria, which is predicated, which is as a result of Section 48 and Section 49 of the 1999 Constitution, they are proceeds of fraud. Why? Because the 1999 Constitution itself is a fraud based on the fact that I've listed. Now let me go to the second part of my video, which is the basic realities. And this is where some of you may not be happy with what we are going to hear. But I'm going to say it. Some of you will be shocked. Some of you will be angry. Some of you will be in a state of unbelief. But I'm still going to say it because these are basic realities. We may ignore them. We may dismiss them. We may, play the ostrich. But they are basic realities. 5 of them. Number one basic reality is that no single core northerner in the Sharia belt, when I mean core northerner, I mean those in the 12 contiguous states that declare Sharia, no one of them will ever see the 1999 Constitution as a fraudulent document and call for its decommissioning. I need to repeat that because it's very important. Number one basic reality is that you will never see one core northerner, one, I didn't say 2. You can never see one single core northerner who sees the 1999 Constitution as a fraud and call for its decommissioning. Why? Because it is in their favor. Rather, what will they do? They will do everything humanly possible to keep that fraudulent constitution to be alive in perpetuity or forever. Once in a while, they will come up with a jamboree called amendment. You are amending a fraudulent document. Does it make sense? But they will hold to it. That is basic reality number one. Basic reality number two. I told you there are 5 of them. Basic reality number 2. As long as the electoral processes and national elections hold every 4 years, that fraudulent constitution will continue to exist. And the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria will continue to exist. As long as electoral processes continue to hold and national elections continue to hold every 4 years, the constitution has come to stay in perpetuity. That's basic reality number 2. Now, basic reality number 3, which is the one I know that is going to get everybody upset, but I have to throw the bomb. Let me put it very clear, and I'll say it without equivocation here, that as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence, listen very carefully. Let me say this introduction twice so that, you will be sure of what you heard. I said, as long as 1999 Constitution is still in existence, functioning as the Constitution of Nigeria, there shall not be any Biafra, there shall not be any Oduduwa, there shall not be any Niger Delta Republic, there shall not be any Midwest Republic, there shall not be any Middle Belt Republic, there shall not be any Lower Niger Federation, or any nation coming out of Nigeria. Repeat the condition again. As long as the 1999 Constitution is still in use, still in force, still being the Constitution of Nigeria. That is a basic reality. You can argue all you want. You can do all the protests you want to do. You can do all the kidnapping, all the beheading. Everything you need to do does not change the status quo as long as the 1999 Constitution is still existing as Nigeria's Constitution. Basic reality number 4. As long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence, the northern part of Nigeria will always dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must dance to the tune of the northern Nigerian elite or expectation. Let me repeat that again. I said, as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria will dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must do according to what they want. That is the basic reality. If he tries it, or rather if he tries to challenge the northern part or goes against the northern part, that person is doomed. First of all, he will not have budget, he or she will not have budget passed, because the budget will be voted for at the National Assembly. I don't want to go into technicalities of reading the various sections of that fraudulent document, because if I do that, I'm going to waste a lot of time. And I have been advised, based on those who watched my video previously, to, avoid all those sections, this section, that section, that. So I'm trying to, take that out. But when you go through that constitution, you find out that the northern part of Nigeria will always have its say every time politically, as long as that constitution is still in existence. Is it the budget? Is it project approval? Is it approval of anything that will be done by the National Assembly? Or even re-election? It will always come under the control of the northern part of Nigeria. And then the last, but not the least, which is the fifth basic reality. As long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence, let me shock my brother, who is a lawyer both in England and in Nigeria. He knows himself. He knows that I'm talking to him now. As long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence as Nigerian Constitution, there shall never, ever be regional autonomy. Let me repeat that so that it will sink in very well. There shall never be any regional autonomy. First of all, the Constitution does not even recognize region. There is nothing like region in that Constitution. The Constitution only recognizes states. I don't want to go into quoting sections now, since I've been advised to avoid quoting sections, this and that. There is nothing like regionalism or region, so you cannot have regional autonomy under the 1999 Constitution. Number two, as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence, I'm talking about basic reality number 5 now, sub number 2. The natural resources will continue to be hijacked by the federal government. You will have no ownership or authority over any natural resource in your area. Number 3, As long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence, there shall always be what is called inverted federation. A federation is supposed to be from the side to the center. The side from the center. That is a true federation. That is why a federation is a union of constitutions. That's a constitution with a plural, S. A federation is a union of constitutions. But with an inverted federation, you have one constitution, you have one center, overloading it over the others. Instead of the ones federating, forming the center and controlling the center is controlling the ones that are supposedly federating. That's what continues to happen as long as the 1999 Constitution continues to exist as Nigerian Constitution. Sub number 4, there shall never be any infrastructural development. When we say infrastructure, it's a big grammar. Let's just break it down. Electricity, road, hospital, telephone, airport, whatever, seaport. You will never ever have such development in Nigeria. A country with a proper constitution does not have any business running infrastructure. I am here in the state of Texas and in the country called United States of America. The government has no business generating electricity, transmitting electricity, or distributing electricity. The government has no business going into refining or refinery. They have no business doing that. But the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999, by its provision, forces the government to go into all this. And you know how inefficient governments are all over the world. Talk more of the ones in Africa and the ones where you don't even have meritocracy, like in Nigeria. The second to the last one is that the federal government shall continue to meddle into industrialization, which is kind of linked to what I said earlier. They will continue to poke nose. Industrialization or building of industry is the business of private ownership. What the government does is to set the rules and the regulations. They monitor, they regulate to make sure it is environmentally safe, it is not cost prohibitive, and that there is no monopoly. That is the business of government. But the Constitution is forcing the government to go into industrialization or go into industry that is none of their business. And then finally, as long as the 1999 Constitution is in existence, corruption and crime will continue to be government policy, official policy. Why? Because there are several sections in the Constitution that backs up or support corruption and crime. We have heard so much about the woes and the impact. Now, what is the way forward? Which is the last part of my video. It is just very simple. The solution to what we have is simple. Just one sentence. And what is that? Decommissioning of the 1999 Constitution. Decommissioning may even be a big grammar, so you got to break it down. That is rejecting that Constitution and throwing it into the dustbin where it belongs, because that document is a fraud. Look at it here. This is the 1999 Constitution. It's just a regurgitation. It's just a photocopy of what they did 20 years earlier in 1979 that Obasanjo used military decree to bring into fruition. And Then they ended up calling it a 1999 constitution by adjusting, making sure that they adjust, because then they had, I think it was 19 states. And by 1999, by brigandage and by military fiat, they created 36 states. They had to adjust it here and there. So what are we supposed to do? What is the solution? Is to decommission, to throw that document into the dustbin where it belongs. And that process is already on. I can tell you it's ongoing right now. How? Because on the 16th of December 2020, 3 different blocks of Nigeria, which I'm going to show you, you may zoom in on this. 3 different blocks. This block here, the middle belt, the southwest, which is the Yoruba, did I get it right? No, sorry, here. The Yoruba side is here. The Yoruba block, the middle belt block, and the old Midwestern and old Eastern region, which they disingenuously called the South-South and the Southeast. So let's even go by their words, South-South and Southeast. They came together and known as the Lower Niger region. They formed an alliance, that is the Middle Belt, the Yoruba side, and the Lower Niger region. They formed an alliance called NINAS, Nigerian Indigenous Nationality Alliance for Self-Determination. And that is what you have here, if you can zoom it here, which is this place that is a little bit gray, separate from this place called the Sharia region. This is the 12 contiguous states. They have already seceded. They have removed themselves from Nigeria. They are just attaching themselves illegally and taking our resources. This part is no longer part of Nigeria. Why? Because it is a region that is governed by Sharia law. There is no neutrality of religion. You know, this is a religion-based country. It's a country of its own now. This alliance, they came together and raised constitutional grievances. And from those constitutional grievances, they were able to raise sovereignty disputes. And from the sovereignty dispute, they proclaimed a constitutional force majeure. And in that constitutional force majeure, 5 demands were made. I'm not going to bore you with all those details, but you can get them when you go to the Guardian newspaper of January 20th, 2021. Guardian newspaper, January 20th, 2021. If you go to page 38, page 39, page 40, and page 41, you are going to see what I am talking about. Or you can also go to the website www.ninasff.org. You can see it there. You can go to www.freedomfromnigeria.org. There you will see what I'm talking about. Now, what is this all about? One is that we have to stop all electoral processes that will lead to the 2023 national election. Now, you have to understand this. So many people, they have this misunderstanding, thinking that we're talking about boycott. A boycott is a one-day event, or boycott of election is a one-day event. Why? Because election is one-day event. But the electoral processes, these are voters registration, permanent voters card, ward election, congresses, election for candidates, and then the proper election itself. These are processes that will lead ultimately to the election day. We are talking about stopping those processes, not waiting until the day we have the election. Stopping those processes. That's one of them. We are also going to tell the politicians and political parties to stop shop. They must close shop right now. There is no need continuing. They can play their politics when we are done with what we are planning to do. They should close shop right now. And then there will be enthronement of a transitioning body that will have constituent powers. Constituent powers mean powers that is not regulated by any constitution. And that also include that transitioning body will conduct regional referendums. I have to really draw this word and emphasize on it, because there are two types of referendum. You have a national referendum and a regional referendum. Here we are talking about regional referendum. In other words, we're going to have referendum in this region, referendum in this region, and referendum in this region to ask them if they want to continue with the Nigerian Union or if they want to stay on their own. This transitioning body will conduct that referendum. And it is based on the results of that referendum that the next step will now follow in terms of organizing and articulating new constitution for those who want to be on their own and for those who want to federate, who want to combine and stay together. So that is the way forward. Decommissioning the fraudulent 1999 constitution and supporting the NINAS Alliance, the Nigerian Indigenous Nationality Alliance for Self-Determination, to make sure that there is a transitioning body after stopping the electoral processes, have a transitioning body that will conduct regional referendum for a stay or a leave decision. It has to be a stay or a leave. That is my short message today, again titled Fundamental Questions, Basic Realities, and the Way Forward. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.